The Persian-Iranian conflict with the West and the United States, a story of 4 centuries of rivalry and confrontation. The conflict between Iran and the West did not begin with the Islamic Revolution in 1979, as many believe. Its roots go back centuries, when the Persian Empire was trying to preserve its independence in the face of European powers competing over trade routes and influence in the Middle East and Asia. Phase 1, the Clash of Empires, 16th to 19th centuries. With the rise of the Safavid state in 1501, Persia became a major regional power rivaling the Ottoman Empire. At the same time, European powers, especially Portugal, then Britain, France, and Russia, began expanding in the Gulf and the Indian Ocean. During the 19th century, Persia became involved in what was known as the Great Game, the struggle between the British Empire and the Russian Empire for control of Central Asia. Iran turned into a political and economic arena of competition between the two powers and was forced to grant extensive concessions to foreigners in exchange for loans and support. Phase 2, Oil Changes Everything, 1901 to 1953. In 1901, Shah Mozaffar al-Din granted the British businessman William Darcy a concession to explore for oil. After oil was discovered in 1908, the Anglo-Persian Oil Company was founded, later becoming British Petroleum, BP. Iranians felt that their country received only a tiny share of the revenues from its oil wealth, which created growing anger toward Britain. In 1951, Dr. Mohammad Mossadegh was elected prime minister and made a historic decision to nationalize Iranian oil, which Britain and the United States saw as a threat to their economic and strategic interests. Phase 3, the 1953 coup. In August 1953, the U.S. Central Intelligence Agency, CIA, in cooperation with British intelligence, carried out a covert operation known as Operation Ajax, which ended with the overthrow of Mohammad Mossadegh's government and the restoration of Shah Mohammad Reza Pahlavi's authority. From that day on, many Iranians became convinced that the United States and Britain intervened to topple any government that threatened their interests. Phase 4, the Shah is Washington's ally, 1953 to 1979. The Shah became one of the United States' strongest allies in the Middle East. Iran received massive quantities of American weapons and became an important base for confronting the Soviet Union during the Cold War. But at home, the Shah's regime was accused of tyranny and corruption, and it relied on the Savak security apparatus to suppress opponents. Phase 5, the Islamic Revolution, 1979. In February 1979, Ayatollah Ruhollah Khomeini returned from exile, and the Shah's regime fell. The revolution raised the neither East nor West and described the United States as the Great Satan. In November of that same year, Iranian students stormed the U.S. Embassy in Tehran and held 52 American diplomats hostage for 444 days. From that moment, diplomatic relations between the two countries were severed. Phase 6, the Iran-Iraq War, 1980 to 1988. Just 1 year after the revolution, Iraq under Saddam Hussein launched a war against Iran. The United States, along with Western and Arab countries, provided varying degrees of support to Iraq, fearing the export of the Iranian Revolution to the region. The war also saw what became known as the Tanker War in the Gulf. In 1988, the U.S. Navy mistakenly shot down an Iranian civilian airliner over the Gulf, killing 290 people, an event that remains deeply present in the Iranian memory. Phase 7, the Nuclear Program. Iran's nuclear program began under the Shah with American support.